Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. SeKo Starcraft bringing you an amateur replay. The buddy of mine, Sepiriomon. I still gotta make sure I get that pronunciation down. I talk with him about it once in a while. Versus Blumpkin with the awesome and ever-known name. If you guys don't know what a Blumpkin is, look it up. It's an experience all on its own. I'll leave it up to you to discover that for yourselves. But this is a Silver League game between a Terran and a Zerg. So it's my favorite matchup, and we get to watch it from the amateur side of things as well. Actually, I don't think I've casted too much in the Silver League, so this in itself should be interesting. Looks like Sepiriomon wants to go for a really, let's just say Sepia for short or something like that, is going to be going for a really fast scout here, or he's going to be going for some sort of proxy. We'll see. Neither one would surprise me too much. This is, down in the amateur side of things, so both make sense. Zerg player just hitting up their drones. And as his overlord's out on the way, he is going to go for his scout himself. They are going to high five on the way past. Oh, sorry, I was just checking out the WCS that's on at the same time there, just to oversaturate myself in the StarCrafts. Looks like this SCV is just kind of getting shot around, and just for a kind of a case in point. To do this with a worker, it's not really that that's funny. If you can get them to do that, it's totally worth it. But it's generally not worth it to be running around with your worker. It's better to have it at home working on stuff. But he did have a chance to see there was no pool going down. And what the? I was about to say there was 300 minerals. Oh no, that's unfortunate. This hatchery is going to be done long before we're going to be able to have anything that can come and kill it. He will scout it pretty soon, though. Very interested to see how this works out. This is actually one of the best case scenarios for this hatch block. And I'm actually fairly impressed that Sepiriomon went for this kind of fast expand play. I don't see it too much just because it's too likely that people will just punish you straight up. And yeah. And if somebody does go for like a 9 pool or something like that, this should be able to survive. This map's pretty quick to run across in, so. Alrighty. He still doesn't know this is here. Nope.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Well, he sees the expansion on this side, so this block, I thought this might be to do some cheese. I've actually done games in the past where I build this and then get up a whole bunch of spine crawlers just to actually slow push a player. It's really fun to do. I think he should know pretty quick here with this creep coming across what's happening. He's got enough money right now. We'll see if he wants to get down another command center, super ghost suit, or maybe 2 more barracks. No, more gas. Very interesting. Now, this is a big problem, and there's nothing really on the way right now that's going to allow Sepiriomon to stop this. The Zerg player is probably super happy. What you really want to get out is a queen, so you can start dropping creep tumors. Oh no, dude. Oh no. I think this is actually really... He is going to spine crawler rush. This is really good. You should wall back off again. Yeah, there you go. Oh, really? How to... This is the most creative way I've ever seen. So like, yeah, you can take that base. I'm just... Whatever. It doesn't bother me. I'll go elsewhere. I'll take my money elsewhere. But what he really should be doing is getting down a factory so he can start getting out tanks. You do need siege tanks to deal with something like this. Back at home, the Zerg players, let's see his economy. He's still down in workers, which is a little unfortunate for him. He does spend a lot of money on these different pieces here. He might just want to commit to trying to win from this standpoint, and he might be able to because there's no tanks, there's no bunkers. It'd be worthwhile to send down a worker to scout this just to see where you're at. Come and see if this is going to be a push, or if it's just to be a dick. He's at least making some money on this side. Now, I'll say what I would do in this position. As a Zerg player, I wouldn't worry about doing too much here. I'd either go for my damage right away with my crawlers and go for their complete cheese, bust, and win, which is what might happen with these banelings. Or I would just say, hey, I've got a block down, I'm going to start dropping creep tumors, and then get a sick economy backup. And then scout for any of these hidden bases. Because, yeah, it's the Zerg player's in an amazing spot right now, but it's very easy to screw this up if you're not paying enough attention. Now, this is really bad timing, and I run into I'll pause for a second. I run into a lot of amateur Terran players that do this. They essentially have like one production facility, and they say, oh, well now I need more production, so I'm just going to build it all now. The difficulty is that it's going to be another minute or two before you get enough production out of these to matter. And by then, this attack could come up here, kill you, or just win. So that's why it's nice to balance adding 1 or 2 buildings in the early game, so you have enough production to keep yourself alive, and then move into your higher tech stuff, so you're not left high and dry. 4 banelings should be enough to get down the supply depot here. He's got enough lings, but he doesn't have lings speed. Once again, if the Zerg player was going to be going for more of an all-in, I would be investing in speed and be building nothing but more Zerglings here. And because he's kind of invested a little bit both ways, he's got some attacking units and some economy, he's not doing that great at either. So the Terran player is actually, if we look at the income tab, the Terran player is actually ahead and doesn't even have a natural. And the Zerg player is technically mining off of 3 different hatcheries. So that's why, for me, this strategy is cool, but you have to use it. You have to go kill with it. And he's got a huge opportunity right now to do that. It doesn't look like he's going to take advantage of it, though. We actually have reactors coming down this side. So I'm kind of surprised that we don't see Blumpkin just go for a kill. Did he scout this? Oh, he did scout this. Run those workers back home. You can outrun these slow units. Or run them into the banelings, because at least you'll get him to lose the banelings. So yeah, the Zerg player should have been busting down this wall. Move your crawlers forward, start moving your creep tumors up, and just start sieging up the wall. Terran player is doing the best thing he can at this point. Here we go. Now, unless these are Hellions coming out, oh, that might help. Wow, that was probably the most timely possible unit he could have gotten. Making 4 hellbats at a time. He's moving into roaches on the other side of things, which is okay. That's why you want tanks, right? If you have 1 or 2 tanks up here, you can do a ton of damage. You'd like to have one of these overlords closer to the wall here, because then you can get high ground vision and you can do more damage. These queens could be shooting at this barracks, for instance, or anything else for the time being. 14 more drones, finally. Oh no, don't send in the Zerglings. Yeah, he's not going to be able to take the crawlers. That's why if these crawlers are at the front, with the queens behind it, with all this transfuse energy, he'd be doing alright. Looks like his plan is to go Marauder Hellbat. And he's just going to keep healing over here. He's got all the money he ever needs to make hellbats until he's blue in the face. Economy-wise now, we see that the Zerg player's finally taken a lead at the 11-minute mark. Zerg player is just going to try and do as much damage as he can from time to time. I do like the roach transition. I think it's very good. Getting the upgrades and everything like that, that's something you do when you're preparing for the late game. If you got this kind of strategy and you got this kind of tech, you really should be focusing on trying to go for the early win. What's up here? Oh, there's SCVs. They could be down here mining. Never mind. Might be able to push out of this. Lots of larvae down here too. He just can't spend it because his economy has been so poor this whole time. Well, round 2. This is really weird. I've not seen a game like this in a long time. I've done this strategy before, but usually you use it to win sooner. So this is kind of just strange from the Zerg player. I don't really know any other way to describe it other than just strange. Making any Zerglings at this point is essentially irrelevant. Oh, yes. Looks like he's might actually bust out of this, but we're about to see a giant pile of Zerglings come out and then probably just die. It'd be nice if these things had blue flame on it, but that's not the big problem. See, now that these Zerglings have speed, if you're going to use them, you might as well run into the base and do some harass damage of some sort. It was a good breakout by Sepiriomon. I can't fault him for that. The Zerg player by now should be on like 60 drones, and it's only on 30. So really, even with all the advantages and the time that the Zerg player had, is actually translated into no real advantages. They built a Roach Ward over here. Oh man. That's just sad. And he's still, well, he does have mules he could be dropping over here, but in an economic sense, he's doing fine. And spine crawlers again. See, by this point, once again, if you look at your mineral lines and you go like this and you're not filling up your entire unit selection screen with drones, you are not saturated enough. Case in point, he's got gases he can't even afford to use. And in his main base, look at that. It's just really, really bad. And mech upgrades for this too. Why not, you know? More mech. This is a really funky, weird kind of strategy. I mean, I like it. Technically, if he had actually had a good economy up and just went into mutas, it would have probably just killed him. But considering who he's going up against, like, look at the supply just starting to skyrocket here for the Terran. He could probably push out with this army and just go win soon. Man. Well, at least he's got all of his production facilities now. He can just keep cranking out stuff. He's going to have to need some more supply depots here pretty soon. But the Zerg player didn't drop any creep tumors down here with those queens. Would have been very helpful. Anything. Wow. You know, we got the money. This is really funny, actually. I don't... And it looks like the Zerg player wants to go expand, but if you can barely fill up your mineral lines, there is essentially no reason at all to expand at this point. That's that kind of... I usually don't like that kind of BM. You should have just killed him, kept banelings. Yeah, I would agree. If you just kept baneling busting that thing and used speedlings, the Zerg player should have won like 10 minutes ago. One Zergling gets taken out. 4 roaches on the way and upgrades. So once again, he made those facilities to get upgrades for his units, but he's not going to be really going into the late enough game to take advantage of those. Now, it might be worthwhile for Sepiriomon to wait, you know, a few more seconds for his upgrades to finish. 32 lings, which probably aren't going to do him too much good, once again, regardless. This is a really funny strategy. I'm just smiling at this. It's so funny. And watch all these units just get clam baked here. Not even close. GG. Well, now that was an unconventional game, if I do say so myself. And though I didn't necessarily agree with the way Sepiriomon got out of that, because he was completely susceptible to die for like 10 minutes straight. He had one supply depot between him and Oblivion. The Zerg player just didn't know how to take advantage of that position. So, as a Zerg player, if you do that, which is really fun to do, get your spine colors, get your creep tumors down, baneling bust the front, or just use the hatch to block, and then just go home and start droning up huge. Get a huge economy, and then move into whatever tech you want. As a Terran player, it's nice to get out tanks to deal with this stuff, because if he did start hitting you with spine crawlers, and you had maybe 4 or 6 spine crawlers, it doesn't matter how many of those hellbats you had, or maraudres even, you would have had enough stuff to just crush through that. Great game still. Silver League, SeKo Starcraft. Thanks for tuning in.